The holiday season is known for bringing family and friends together and creating happy memories. But for some, holiday memories are surrounded by tragedy.
This month, we will be sharing one unsolved missing person story every single day. We hope sharing their story will help bring them home for the holidays. In 1963, Pamela Jean Dunn was born in Watertown, South Dakota. She was a bubbly, life of the party type of girl that may have been described as a bit wild. She had a daughter named Stacy and a granddaughter named Mackenzie. In 1989, she worked as a housekeeper at a nursing home and then eventually became a CNA. Her sister would state in an interview that she loved the bad boys. And this brings in David Osmussen. He was a local construction worker with a wild side and a record. By 6 months in, David started showing his real side. He was extremely jealous and wouldn't let her go out with her friends anymore. He would literally follow her as she was just running errands or running around town.
Oh gosh.
The couple would break up for a few days at a time before they would get back together. This happened a few times over the years. Eventually, the couple gets engaged. She really felt like he had turned over a new leaf and, oh, once we're married, he won't be this jealous, controlling person anymore. It's just he's insecure right now kind of thing. Things did not get any better. Now they actually escalated to physical violence.
Oh no.
But he didn't stop at physical violence. He would send provocative pictures of Pamela to her family, and he would print them out and hang them on billboards around town at like bars and places that they would frequent that would have her name and phone number on them just to embarrass her and things like that. Things he would do to
Oh
her.
my gosh. Oh my.
I know. He sent like naked pictures to her dad. Or I just, this dude is a psychopath. In August of the year 2000, Pam finally gets the courage to call it quits forever. Of course, this does not go over well with David, and his threats escalate to him coming to her workplace where he tries to attack her. She worked in like an office building or a nursing home type of building. So there was a bunch of offices, different rooms. She actually had to lock herself in the bathroom to hide from him so he would not kill her. Police were called and he's arrested. And this is when she is granted a protective order. This honestly meant nothing to David. He didn't care. He
Well,
never stopped his antics.
and what is that piece of paper going to do? I
I,
understand the purpose of them, but they do nothing for people who need protection.
I know. And she was so fearful that him going to jail and getting this protective order, like it's always been in the back of her mind that she needed to do it. But he was a complete psychopath. She was scared. She had an adult child and a grandchild that she felt like she needed to protect. She was in a rock and a hard place. David kept up his crazy antics. Time goes on. He's calling all the time, still stalking her. But Pam eventually starts dating another man. This is months later. This isn't just a little bit of time. This is months later. And she's ignoring him, trying not to escalate anything. He calls and leaves harassing voice messages. She doesn't call the police because he's not showing up at my workplace. He's not doing these pictures. I don't want to aggravate him anymore. I'm just going to try to move on. The more time that goes by, he's going to stop all of this. He doesn't, though. So as soon as David finds out that she's seeing someone else, he flips his shit. He's beyond angry and he ups the ante on his crazy behavior. Now, for the day that she went missing, it has now been 21 years since Pamela vanished. The date was December 9th of 2001, and Pamela had dropped her mother off at her house around 6 p.m. that evening. A couple hours later, Pamela speaks with her daughter on the phone. Couple hours after that, Pamela again speaks with her mother on the phone. She does state during that call that ex boyfriend David had been calling her again relentlessly and wouldn't stop. And she was a bit upset about this and she's venting to her mother. Not much was said about what he was saying, but I'm sure it's the same thing that he had been saying over and over. One of the weird things is that actually Pamela's daughter stated that when she talked to her mom earlier in that evening, that she said David was actually with the mother. But when she talked to the mother later on, she said that he was just on the phone. I don't know if this is a discrepancy or someone misinterpreted if someone was on the phone or if they were actually in person. But either way, David is supposed to be having zero contact with Pamela, and he still is. Possibly Pam wanted to downplay what was happening to her mother so that the mom wouldn't worry because all of this has been going on literally for years by this point. When Pam didn't show up for work the next day, authorities were sent to her house to do a welfare check. The whole family knew of the issues and the protective order and what David was doing to her. So they got very concerned very quickly. They didn't find Pam there at the house, but they did find her purse and her keys locked inside of her house. Her vehicle was in the normal spot. And where would any woman go without her purse or her vehicle?
Nowhere.
Yeah. And the fact that the protective order is in place should have been a clue. David was not supposed to have any contact with Pam, but he never gave a crap about that piece of paper. This dirtbag volunteers to come in for questioning. And the whole interview, you can find it online if you want to watch it. Whole interview, he's basically worried about how Pam missing will affect him and how he's going to be blamed for it because of this protective order. Not very much concern for where the heck is Pam, but hey, oh, I know you guys are going to be after me. I'm going to be number one suspect. Or you could be concerned for your ex fiance.
Yeah, and if the shoe fits. If the shoe fits.
Exactly. Exactly. It takes a little while, but police eventually get the phone company to release the voicemails from her phone. And like I said, he called all the time, leaving voicemail after voicemail. They find 3 from David from that night before or that she went missing. One stating, and I quote, "I don't know where the F you are, Pam. I imagine what you're doing, and I know, boy, Pam, there's going to be some bad consequences. I hate to say it." Another one, David is cursing like crazy. He says, "Where are you, lying bleep whore? Get home. I'm going to call you, and you're going to tell me who you were with, Pam. It's going to be a lot easier on you. Trust me, I don't lie to you." I could never imagine the terror she and so many other women that have been in situations like this feel. Absolutely horrible. I could not even imagine the threats and the derogatory comments that he would say to her on the daily basis.
Yeah.
Because of these voicemails, David is arrested for stalking. They Police are obviously hoping by the time that these charges go through that they would know where Pam is, but that would not happen. He's eventually found guilty and receives 40 months in prison for the stalking charges, considering he had a protective order against him that he violated just by leaving those voice messages.
I'm glad they prosecuted him.
Yes. And get this, he was his own lawyer during the trial.
What a narcissist.
That's who it is, I swear. It took the jury 6 minutes or something crazy, a very few minutes to literally walk back to their room, sit down, and for them to find him guilty.
Nice.
Police get a break in the case when David's sister comes forward with one of the items that was actually missing from Pamela's house that night. This was Pam's engagement ring. It went missing the night Pam disappeared. She had it this whole time. It goes missing when she goes missing. Okay. David's sister stated she got it from David, and this helped. In one way, they were able to try and convict David in Pamela's kidnapping. He was sentenced to life in prison for the kidnapping of Pamela, even though they have no idea what happened. But the fact that he had her ring and it was known to be at the house, they may have had more.
Wow.
I know, I know.
That almost makes me wonder if the defense attorney did not do a very good job of creating reasonable doubt there.
Oh, he was the defense attorney. I didn't read if he was his own lawyer for this charge as
Oh, okay.
well.
But chances are high that he was
Chances are high, but yeah, and he's given life in prison.
over suspected kidnapping because they don't
Mhm.
even know that he for really did it, for
Yes,
really did it.
I
I
know.
mean, wow.
Yep. Pamela Dunn has never been found, and obviously stupid David is not talking at all. Why would he? He's already doing a life sentence for kidnapping. He's not gonna up it to murder.
Yeah, no.
In 2020, authorities were actually digging up a well in connection with Pamela's disappearance, and they had found some remains. Unfortunately, within a month, the family would receive news that these remains were that of an animal. They probably had other evidence, but at one time on one voicemail, David said, I will throw your body into a well and no one will ever be able to find you. So I don't know if they took that and searching wells that he may have had access to or how they came upon this particular, but the remains were of animals. Still no sign of what happened or where Pam is. She is described as a Caucasian female, sandy brown hair, brown eyes. She had medium complexion. She had pierced ears, a couple surgical scars along her abdomen from a hysterectomy. She also had a discolored scar along her nose, and she went by the nickname Curly.
Did she have
Some
curly hair?
A little bit. I didn't know if it was because back then a lot of people had curly hair, like perms and stuff, or
Oh,
if she
maybe.
really, but in her picture, she does. Someone had to have seen something that day or knows something about what happened to Pamela Dunn. Please contact South Dakota Division of Criminal Investigations at 605 882 5099.
Wow.